I'm Tony Van Veen, CEO of Discmakers. We're almost at the end of the year, so today I want to do a quick little recap of the major items impacting independent musicians in 2021. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be tons of articles about music industry news for 2021 and Adele's new album and all these big things that really don't make a difference to independent artists. So I am going to focus on the trends that impacted independent artists in 2021. Starting with, and one that is near and dear to my heart, CDs came roaring back this year. I mean, admittedly, last year with the pandemic, 2020 was the worst year ever for CDs. Because I know you mostly use your CDs to sell at concerts. And with concerts shut down, the disc business really took a nosedive. But second half of 2020 and certainly in 2021, demand came back really strongly. And so that's been a really encouraging trend because CDs still offer really great value. They're really affordable to make. The sound quality is great. The graphics are great. And it's a great way, in my opinion, the best way still for independent artists to monetize their music. The next trend is that the vinyl album growth continues to be happening at double digits. And it's actually getting a little ridiculous. I mean, you've heard of all these supply chain issues impacting everything around us, food and paper and automobiles and gasoline. And the same is happening with vinyl. So the cost of the PVC, of the vinyl is getting more expensive. All the other parts are getting more expensive. Prices are going up. And with demand continuing to go up, vinyl turn times this year stretched into the space of ridiculousness. Some plants were quoting 12-month turn times. I mean, even our turn times are still quite long at a little over 4 months. And frankly, I think the amazing thing is that actually makes us one of the faster delivering companies on vinyl. So, vinyl demand continues to be hot. The next item is that there's been this year, and certainly the second half of this year, lots of smoke and not much fire, in my opinion, around NFTs for artists. I mean, every week I see an article about some new artist launching an NFT or partnering with some NFT platform. And frankly, every time I still wonder, like, how many hoops do I have to jump through to actually buy an NFT? And so I ask myself, how will NFTs actually become mainstream if they're still so hard to buy and frankly, so hard to understand? Maybe 2022 will show us, because I do believe NFTs hold promise for artists as a way that fans can demonstrate their fandom. Next item, TikTok in 2022 became the undisputed online music platform. I mean, seeing their year-end stats, 430 songs wrapped up over 1 billion plays or views in 2021. And not only new artists were really breaking through, but many old legacy artists, famously Fleetwood Mac, just kind of got a whole new lease on life with some of their tracks just going viral. So TikTok is certainly for you something to watch, to work on. And I mean, you may want to figure out, are your fans on TikTok? But it's a very viable platform, and you certainly want to make sure that your music is available there. Now here's a mind-blowing one. Indie music distributor DistroKid, towards the end of the year, got an infusion of funding from financial funders that valued the company at $1.3 billion. As you probably know, DistroKid is one of the probably top 3 independent music distributors, along with CD Baby and TuneCore. And their valuation has grown immensely over the past year and a half. So what does that mean for you? I don't know. I mean, your music may not make much in terms of digital royalties, but add enough of you together, artists together on one big platform, and someone's gonna cash out big. Next trend, podcasts are more and more competing for your fans' listening time on the streaming platform. I mean, Spotify's been buying podcasts and podcast creation companies and podcasting platforms like it's going out of style, dropping hundreds of millions of dollars this year. And for sure, there are some great podcasts out there. And I listen to plenty of podcasts. And frankly, it is for me also at the expense of listening to music. The interesting point that many people don't really think about is that most podcasts at this point in time don't really require royalties to be paid to the creator. They do get the ad revenue that happens on the podcast, but no royalties. And so in a way, that may make podcasts actually cheaper to push for the streaming platforms than pushing music. Next trend, concerts are on again. Or are they? Or are they off again? It's a real seesaw in the live music venue business. COVID, then vaccines, everybody's feeling better, then the Delta variant spreads everywhere, then concerts start getting canceled. I mean, lots of concerts this past summer got canceled. Then, fans come back, then fans bought tickets and they're staying home. Now we got the booster, everybody's feeling better again. Then Omicron, people are panicking again. I'm hearing tons of fans against staying home. In the meantime, Live Nation's stock price is riding at an all-time high again, after, of course, hitting an all-time low last year. But I do believe that concerts are here and back and to stay. And so generally, the concert trends are very encouraging, I would say. And then the last point is, and this is a continuation of a trend, that the independent artist's market share is at this point higher than it's ever been before. Music industry analyst Mark Mulligan of the Music Industry Blog wrote a recent article, and he tallied up all the independent content, independent music that's being released through independent distribution platforms and through some of the distribution platforms that are owned by the majors, but still distribute a lot of independent content, like The Orchard, which is owned by Sony. And in 2021, the indie releases represented a whopping 43% of music industry revenues, and they're growing faster than the majors. So there is a ton of indie content out there, and that is all enabled by technology, by independent music distribution platforms, by social media like TikTok, like YouTube, that's driving a ton of listens, a ton of volume. So there are the main trends that I kind of noticed and just kind of top of head picked out. What does this all mean for you? Mostly, probably not much. I mean, your demand as an independent artist is created by yourself, by your talent, by your hustle, by how hard you are out there creating music, performing music, and pushing your music. Now, you, of course, definitely want to know about industry and technology trends because you want to be where your fans are. But trends over time come and go. And if you're in this for the long haul, you are the one who is in the driver's seat, and you're the one responsible for making sure that your music gets heard. So keep on grinding, and tomorrow you'll be slightly ahead of where you are today. Hope you found this helpful. See you next time.